Hello, grade 4. It's another SST lesson. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, as wonderful as this side of waterfalls we have here. By the way, we are now in lesson 4 and we're going to discuss about the natural resources of the United States. And for the learning objectives, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify natural resources and the way people use them. And number 2, you'll be able to recognize how people change their environment to meet their needs. Now let me introduce the key vocabulary words of this lesson. Number 1 is natural resource. It is something found in nature that people can use, such as water, soil, and trees. Okay, we have some more examples here, like plants or vegetation, animals, soil, minerals, and water. And number 2, it is something that can be replaced or made again by people or nature, and that is renewable resource. Okay, normally grade 4 living things replace themselves through reproduction, like plants and animals, and I believe we already learned that from our science lesson. Okay, example, we have here wind, solar energy, forest, or trees. So just remember, it is a resource that can be used repeatedly or can be replaced naturally. And number 3, non-renewable resource. It is a resource that cannot be replaced. So it is the opposite of renewable. All right, for example, we have oil, natural gas, and coal. So all this grade 4 can take thousands or millions of years to form, so they are considered non-renewable. People use them faster than they can form. All right? Number 4, we have groundwater. It is the water that sinks beneath Earth's surface when it rains or snows. Okay, look at the illustration here. So any forms of precipitation, grade 4, fills the spaces between salt particles and fractured rocks beneath the Earth's surface. And number 5 is industry. It is all the businesses that make one kind of product or provide one kind of service. Okay, look at this illustration. Right, so it is a bottle factory grade 4 and it's part of manufacturing industries. Okay, and number 6, we have minerals, are natural substances found in rocks. Okay, we have several examples here. So they make of Earth's rocks, sands, and soils. Please remember that they do not come grade 4 from animals and plants. Right, so we're going to find out more about all these words as we continue, as I've said, with this lesson. Number 7 is environment. It is a surrounding in which people, animals, and plants live. So anything grade 4 that you can see around you, by the way, it could be living things or non-living things, is all part of environment. All right, and last one, we have conservation. It is a process of protecting and using natural resources wisely. Okay, look at this example. Recycle, reduce, and reuse. So to reduce the amount of waste you produce, reuse items as much as you can before replacing them, and recycle items wherever it's possible. So all these three things, grade 4, is one way of showing conservation. All right, so please don't forget all these vocabulary words of this lesson. Now let's find out the land resources of the United States. The United States grade 4 has many important natural resources. People depend on them to grow food, raise animals, and build homes. Okay? Soil, much of the nation has fertile soil, especially in its river valleys and its plains. The rich soil helps farmers grow their large amounts of food, and every year, farmers in the United States grow their wheat, corn, fruits, soybeans, and other crops. And also ranchers in the United States depend on soil. They need grasses and crops to feed their cattle and other livestock. Okay, so look at the example of corn and wheat field. All right, so let's continue. Now look at this beautiful forest grade 4. Trees grow well in many parts of the United States. In fact, forests cover nearly one-third of the land in the United States. People use trees to make homes and many wood products such as furniture and pencils, paper that you use are made from trees too. Okay, trees are an example of a resource that is renewable, meaning to say people can plant new trees to replace the ones they use. However, trees need many years to grow. For this reason, many people in the United States work together to use forest resources wisely. Water resources. Water is perhaps our most important natural resource. Do you agree? People grade 4 cannot survive more than a few days without it. People get fresh water from several sources and use it in many ways. Okay, so let's find out about getting fresh water. Lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater supply almost all the fresh water people use. Look at some examples of bodies of water here. We have the lake and the river. Okay, remember groundwater? It is the water that sinks beneath Earth's surface when it rains or it snows. In some places, people dig deep wells to get groundwater. In other places, people pump water from rivers or human-made lakes, and then they may dig ditches and lay pipes across the land to bring water into their dry areas. Using water. People use water in many ways. Definitely everyone knows this. We use water to drink, we use water to wash and to cook. People also use water for boating and other activities for fun. Industries use a lot of water too. For example, farmers need water to grow their crops and fishers catch fish in the water. And to add more grade 4, like in agriculture, farming, and ranching, they use more water than any other industry in the United States. However, factories also use water to make nearly every kind of product. For example, it takes about 7,000 gallons of water to make 1 ton of paper. Reason we should learn not to waste papers. Okay, look at the examples here. And in some parts of the United States, grade 4, water is used as a source of power. The energy from moving water can produce electricity, and this electricity lights homes and offices and runs machines in factories. Now let's wrap up the lesson with these two questions. Number one, why are natural resources important? Okay, for the reason, grade 4, that people depend on them to grow food, raise animals, and build homes. And number two, what are the major sources of fresh water? Okay, so we discussed about lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater as the main sources of fresh water. Okay, summary of the lesson, please remember this. The United States has many natural resources. And second one, people need natural resources to survive, so they work to protect and use them wisely. Alright, so that's for today. Again, grade 4. I hope you learned something. Bye for now.